First of all, I want to thank everybody for having me out. It's a real honor to be here. I look out in the crowd, I see a lot of guys that I either played with, played against, coaches that I coached with, coaches that I coached against. So again, thank you very much for having me out. Today I'm going to take a little bit different approach to goaltending with you guys. How many guys here are goalie coaches? Okay, perfect. And how many guys are former goaltenders? I know I see guardsies here. There's a former goalie. Any other goalies here? Okay, so very, very few. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to get bogged down in the minutia of goaltending. I'm not going to talk about technical side of goaltending. I think that would be a disservice to the conference, just because nobody's really going to understand. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it pretty high level. Before I get started, I'll give you guys a little background. I was not much of a goaltender. I played Division I college hockey, played professionally for 10 years, but I played in the Central Hockey League. You guys had Dave Starman up here. Dave was my first ever coach in the pros, which is pretty funny. He was the only guy who took a chance on me and led my career. Went from the Central Hockey League to the East Coast League to the American Hockey League, and then finished up over in Europe. And because I wasn't much of a goaltender, I don't know if any of you guys played in the East Coast League, but you read on the fine print on the bottom of the contract, it says, only valid for 48 hours. And when you're making $500 a week, $366 after taxes, living in Biloxi, Mississippi, there's not a lot of money left at the end of the week. And so right from the get-go, as soon as I started playing pro hockey, I started building companies. First company I built was Briere's Goalie School. I built it in the closet of my condo in Biloxi, Mississippi, and ran those companies, ran those goalie schools, expanded them, grew them from 1 location to 7 locations to 16 locations, and so on. And my 4th year of pro, I went over to Europe, and I was playing in Fife for the Fife Flyers, and I started building an internet company on the bus. While we were riding from Scotland to London, we used to wake up in the morning of the game, drive 8 hours down to London, play the game, and then drive 8 hours back. So there was a lot of time to build a business plan. And so I built an internet company, and a guy who actually did a podcast for the coaches site, Gordon McFarland, he owns a company called Coaching to Connect. His business partner is actually the guy who bought me. I got a phone call one day. My wife and I are on the couch. This guy calls me up and says, hey, I want to buy your internet company. And I said, hey, Pammy, this guy wants to buy our company. How much do we want? She said, well, we need $40,000 for a down payment. I said, $40,000. Gave me a check the next day. So that was the first time that I had built a company and then sold it. So when I retired, I decided to go back to university and do my master's degree. And I got a master's degree in entrepreneurship. And at the same time as I did that, I got into coaching. And so I became a graduate assistant at the University of Alabama in Huntsville. And I really had never coached before. You know, running goalie schools is one thing, but coaching in a coaching team is something totally different. You know, the day-to-day hanging with the coaches, seeing their point of view and their side of things, and then you seeing your side of things, totally different animal than coaching goalie schools, where you have that individual just to yourself and you do whatever you want. A lot more complicated. And so at the same time as I was coaching at UAH, I started teaching university. I taught management at university. And then I became the director of the Small Business Development Center at the university. So my job was to take patents at the university, find out their viability by doing market research, find out whether we should patent it. Should we spend the $15,000 to patent it? Should we license out the technology? Should we take the professors that came up with the invention, create a corporation, get investment money, and then send them to an incubator? In some cases, I would become the CEO, I'd build the company up, get them their funding, they'd buy my founder shares back, and they'd be off and running. Same time as I was doing that, I was coaching. And a lot of you guys will understand this. Goalie coaching, college hockey, you make no money. So you got a master's degree, but that doesn't pay for your kids' diapers, your wife. My wife is Scottish, so she couldn't work. So I needed to get paying coaching jobs. And so I know that sounded really bad, that I was coaching 6 teams. But, when you're a goalie coach and you get paid $5,000 to coach a junior team, it's not a lot of money. You got to do a lot of junior teams to make up the money you need. So the first coaching job I had, I was living in Huntsville, Alabama, and I got a job working for the Omaha Lancers in the USHL. And Mike Hastings was my coach. He was the GM. I called Mike. I said, Mike, I'd like to be your goalie coach. He said, how the heck are you going to coach the Omaha Lancers goalies from Huntsville, Alabama? And I said, just give me a chance. Give me 1 year. I'm going to make a business plan for your goalies, so detailed and so good that they will know exactly what to do every single day. They just need to follow the plan. And then I did video on fast hockey from Huntsville, and I'd go over their video with them on Mondays, and then I would say, okay, well, remember your plan. And they go back to doing their plan. First year coaching, anybody ever heard of Jeff Tiglia? Guys that coached in the USHL? Okay, Jeff Tiglia could not butterfly. He would make every save like this. Okay? I took his weaknesses, turned them into strengths, takes his strengths and make them even higher, make them even better, right? And in my first year coaching, I went to Omaha twice. I went once before Christmas, once after Christmas. Jeff Tiglia was the USHL Goalie of the Year, got a full ride to Amherst. My second year coaching, I coached Topeka Roadrunners and the Omaha Lancers. John Keeney, Goalie of the Year, got a full ride to Fairbanks. Rasmus Turonen, Goalie of the Year in the North American Hockey League, full ride to Merrimack. Third year coaching, the coach in Omaha unfortunately got fired, and so I went over to Fargo Force. First year coaching Fargo, Zane McIntyre, Zane Gothberg at the time. Zane McIntyre, Goalie of the Year. I started, wow, okay, this business plan really has some merit to it. So I moved up to Minnesota. Now I'm coaching 6 junior teams. And like you guys mentioned here, the coaches site mentioned for you, my last year coaching, I coached Manitoba Junior Hockey League, Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, North American League, the USHL, Western Professional League, and I had 6 goalies, and all 6 of them got drafted in the NHL. And that was the last time I coached junior hockey. So what I want to do today for you coaches out there is I want to show you the thought process behind it, and maybe you guys can take some of that away with you. Because I really believe the days of coaching goalies is just like a side thing. The reason those goalies all had success really had nothing to do with me. They had the talent. They just needed somebody to kind of guide them a little bit and give them a plan. And then I needed the coaches. The coaches are the ones that need the credit for all the success of these goalies. Because one, they were willing to follow the plan. They were willing to believe in the plan and follow the plan. So you could have the greatest plan in the world, but if the head coach isn't willing to follow it, it's not going to work. I've been very fortunate that the coaches I worked with, you had done so much research and you had so much reasoning behind each part of the plan that they were willing to run it, and then that's why their goaltenders had success. So the coaches are the ones that have it. So hopefully some of this will help for you guys. So in any business, these are the pillars of creating a business plan. Doesn't matter what kind of business, if it's a product, a service. I ran everything. I had a biotech company. I don't know shit about biotech, all right? I failed almost chemistry, barely passed biology, okay? But I knew that if I followed these rules, that we would be successful. Raised $2 million and sold the company, sold my founder shares, okay? Just by following this, not knowing a thing about biotech. Okay? My point to you is, even if you know nothing about goaltending, there's pillars to goaltending that you do know. Okay? And if you say you don't know, that's a cop-out. All right? You do know. So, management, marketing and sales, finance, competition, market research, idea, your product and your service, right? If you don't have these, you're not getting funded. Now, you could have a whole lot more. You could have a whole lot less. But you need the minimum, you need these in order to get funded and get your company off the ground. You go to the bank for a loan, you're going to need this. You go to get venture capital funding, you need this. Goaltending is no different. Okay? We all want our goalies to have confidence. That's the apex. We all know that a confident goaltender is better than a good goaltender any day of the week. You need your goalies to have confidence. These would be the pillars of goaltending, okay? So I'll start with the mental one just because it's on this side of the PowerPoint. This one always makes me laugh. I always ask all the goalies in the summertime, a lot of goalies come to train with me and they'll say, hey, give me your training program so far. Well, I wake up at 9 a.m., I go to the gym, I work out. Then I go on the ice with whatever program they're on the ice with. Then I go for lunch, then I usually go for a round of golf, and then I hang out with my buddies and play Fortnite all night. And I say, that's awesome. That's a great training program. Say, how much of the game is mental? And every one of you coaches would probably say the same thing the goalies say. The goalies say it's mental is 90% of the game. I say, you're right, it is. When did you work on the mental side of the game? Goalies only try to work on the mental side of the game when they start struggling. The problem with that is it's too late. You try to talk to a goalie when he's struggling, he doesn't hear half the things you're saying to him. Okay? So that's something that we need to work on every day, every single day. And I'll give examples of this, and I'll give you things that you can use with your goaltenders. Save selections, okay? Even if you don't know anything about goaltending, you know whether it went in the net and if it didn't go in the net. You know he's got to be able to catch the puck. You know he's got to be able to block the puck. You know he's got to be able to make low saves. You know he's got to be able to make high saves. You know he's got to be able to make saves side to side. You know those things. Or the dreaded dead angle, right? Everybody hates the head coaches. You guys all hate the dead angle goal. How does that go in? I can't go in. I love that one. My example for that one is coaches always come to me. They'll be like, how does he let in that goal from the goal line? That cannot go in. That's a team killer. And then I ask them, okay, so when was the last time you did a drill in practice where you had everybody shoot dead angle shots on the goalie? Well, never. If you want them to stop it in the game, maybe you should do it in practice. Movement, we all know if you can't get to the spot, you can't make the save. Doesn't matter whether you know goaltending or not. You know that if he did get there, he's going to have a better chance of making the save. If he doesn't get there, he can't make the save. You could go on YouTube and you could find every single movement a goalie needs to make. T-pushes, shuffles, butterfly slides, power pushes, doesn't matter. You guys can find it on YouTube. All right? Playing the puck, obviously a little bit older goaltenders, but having your rules for playing the puck and tracking in vision. And I'll talk a lot about that as well today. So let's start off with tracking in vision. This is a video. This is kind of how I got started getting some recognition in the NHL. 11 years ago, I developed a vision training program for goaltenders. To me, it just made sense. Just like any other business, I was like, I want my goalies to be the best goalies in the world. What's the first thing they need to be able to do? See the puck. If you can't see the puck, you can't stop the puck. And now everybody used to say, oh yeah, he's got 20/20 vision. He can read those letters on the board. I'd say, that's great. That's not sports vision. Many goalies can see 20/20 on a board, but then they can't differentiate between black and really black. And you think about on the ice, you got a black puck with black pants, black tape on the stick, coming at you 80 miles an hour, and you got to try to differentiate. Some goalies don't have a good enough color variance. Some goalies can't see side to side well enough. When they follow a puck, they actually stop and then keep going. Sometimes they go past the puck and they come back. Sometimes they go over the puck and come down. A lot of goalies do that one. Okay, so I'll show you this little video here. You want to push play there, Ben?
Started a while ago. We had another goalie in the organization, and I really felt that there were some issues there. He had a lot of trouble catching the puck. So you just thought that he couldn't catch. Well, he didn't play baseball as a kid, so he couldn't catch, but that wasn't the case. What the case was is his right eye thought the puck was in one place, and his left eye thought the puck was in the other, because the eyes were not working together. You find out that he has eye flutter, which meant that it took him an extra 1/10 of a second to refocus. And in goalie's world, a 1/10 of a second is an eternity.
Once you've realized that an athlete can't converge, can't accommodate, can't relax, can't move their eyes together, you can train the eyes how to do that. Because in most cases, especially the elite athletes, many of them already have the hardware. They just need to stimulate the software, and that's what procedures and exercises like sports vision techniques